All right, everybody, welcome back. We are here for another 20-minute pop-up, not 19, not 21, 20. Here with my good friend, Patrick Yepez. We are going to talk today about blogging. And I know you thought that was left in the 90s, but all of the serious people who are running great websites for lead gen are doing blogs because I'm not even going to tell you why. Patrick's here for that. So we're going to talk about the top 3 mistakes you are making when blogging for motivated seller leads. Patrick, let's jump into it.
David, pleasure to see you. I know this is short, so I'll get right to it. First, I'll give you a little bit of information about me and why I talk about blogging. Yeah. I'm a real estate investor, started out in the state of New Jersey many decades ago. I did my first fix and flip as a real estate investor about 32 years ago. So I've been active investor for many decades. I'm currently, my company is based out of Miami, so I'm still an investor. It's Florida Express Home Buyers. And what I talk about, what I teach is what I do. So what I want to talk to you about is the following: getting out of what is normally termed, that hamster wheel.
Yeah.
And doing things that are evergreen. Now, there's nothing wrong with the hamster wheel. And I'm going to share my screen for a second, just touch upon that.
Let's do it.
And so let me go ahead and do that here. Give me a sec. So I'm just going to hop into nothing wrong with the hamster wheel strategies that we as real estate investors use. So Craigslist, text messaging, cold calling, door knocking, driving for dollars, all of these things work. But the reality is, once you stop cold calling, you're not going to get any more leads. Once you stop sending direct email, you're not going to get any more leads. So I always recommend that those hamster wheel things that we do, they're very effective, but it's always good to have something in the background that's almost, set it and forget it. And one of the ways you can do that to have evergreen content is by writing blogs. Now I know blogs and blogging is not that sexy, but it's very, very, very powerful. So what I want to touch upon this morning, or this afternoon rather, is to talk about what you need to do in order to create a captivating, attractive blog that's going to answer the questions that motivated sellers are asking Google. So what you want to be is a resource for motivated sellers that are having, issues, that are having problems. And so you want to touch their pain point and address their pain point, and for them to see you as a possible solution to their problems. So what I often tell folks is to say, when you blog, and I'm going to use the analogy of fishing. If I go to fish and I throw I cast my reel, my line into the water, I may catch, 1 or 2 fish. Sure. However, if I'm throwing 100, lines in the water, chances are that I'll get more fish. It's the same thing with blogging. Blogging is very, very, very powerful as long as you avoid 3 mistakes. These are 3 mistakes I want to talk about. Great. And then I'll go into some tips and some strategies. Mistake number 1, lack of consistency. Blogging is similar, David, it's similar to social media or to email marketing. Blogging is a long-term play. And that's true of social media, of email marketing. And one thing the reason why people fail in any of those 3 things is lack of consistency. So it's always important to be consistent if you're going to decide to blog. It's better to blog once a week for an entire year than to blog every other day for a month and then you stop. So that's one thing, to avoid. Second issue that many people give up just when the blogging is going to take effect and when you start getting traffic to your website. Now, there's been a lot of studies on that, and the sweet spot, that point where you're going to start generating traffic to your website,
Right.
you're going to start getting more people to visit your website, and ideally you want to convert them into leads, is around the 8th or 9th month.
Okay.
And many people will blog. They'll blog for 6 months, and then
right?
It doesn't work, and I'll just throw in the towel.
Yeah.
And so that's the second thing to keep in mind.
Yeah.
The third thing, and this is true, I'm guilty of this, and I think we all are. And David, I'm sure you can relate with this, is being a perfectionist. And
Right.
I gotta get that blog just perfect. The image that I have is going to be, just so. And then you wind up spending an inordinate amount of time, hours, creating a blog, and that can make blogging very frustrating. So as long as you get something that answers the query that motivated sellers are searching, and it's something that's formatted correctly, that it's attractive, go with it. It's better to have something that's good rather than having something that's perfect. So those are three things I want to mention before I kind of dive in. And normally when I talk about this, I'll talk about 45 minutes. So we're going to do an abbreviated version. But here are the important things that you need to keep in mind when you blog. And before I go into this, I'll repeat it. So sorry for being redundant. Blogging is a very, very powerful tool to drive traffic to your website, number one. Yeah. Number two, to position yourself as a person with authority. Number three, to showcase your expertise. And then number four, eventually, and that's what we all want, to get leads, motivated sellers with whom we can do business. So with that said, I'm going to jump in and we'll spend about 10 minutes or so.
Let's do it.
And by the way, you're more than welcome, and I will make sure you're more than welcome to visit this website. It's reicontentpacks.com.
Okay.
Go to the REI Content Starter Pack, and you can go through this. In here, I talk about several free tools that you can use, that you can download in order to follow along with what we have here. So with that said, the most important thing on a blog is a compelling title, email, or the heading on a post. So we want to have a compelling title that's going to make somebody, when they're looking for an answer to their problem in Google, that is going to attract the attention. That's easier said than done. So we use a really powerful tool. It's free. It's coschedule.com. You can download it for free. And what it is a headline tester or a title tester, and it'll give you feedback on word balance, on the length, on keyword density, on sentiment. I use it, and my team, we use it not just for blogging, we use it when we're doing subject lines. Any title, we use it. So this is something very powerful. Keep in mind that what we want to do is have a compelling title that's going to draw in the reader into the blog that we have. So that's item number one. Again, you can visit this website and review everything, at your own pace. The second thing, critically important in blogging, is to use keyword-centric topics. So we must use keywords. Keywords is what runs the blogging world. The keywords, people enter a query, and if they enter your keyword in that query, then the likelihood that somebody will find your blog increases. So keep in mind that we want to use keywords. So if I'm an investor out of Houston, I may want to say something in my title or in the content, how to sell your home quickly in Houston. So that's keep in mind that keywords are very important. Now, the question comes, how do I find the keywords? Well, there's several free ways to do that. One of them is sitting on your browser. Whenever you search for ask Google a question. At the
Yeah.
bottom of it, you're going to get predictive keyword phrases. So
Yeah.
Google, let me restate that. As you're entering this, you're going to get at the top predictive keyword phrases. So Google gives you the keywords that people are
Huh.
searching. So
Yeah.
there's no need to buy, to invest in any fancy tools when it's free. So I could say how to sell a house that needs repairs in Houston. I have the keywords right here. I have in fact, I have enough content here to create 10 blogs. So
Yeah.
you can use the predictive keyword phrases that Google gives you. The second one, this is at the bottom, is at the bottom of a query. Whenever you search on Google, you're going to get what are known as Google's related searches. Here are your keywords. Here are your headings for a
Huh.
blog. So
Yeah.
you can there's never a lack of ideas of what should I talk about. We've got another 6 or 7 here, headings and blog articles that we can create. So
Huh.
that's a second free way to find topics that we can talk about. Now, this is critically important. If I'm an investor, and in my case, let's say my market is Miami, is Miami, the county of Miami, Dade, that's my market. If I write a blog and I talk about, how to sell your home if you're going through a divorce, that's a great title, great topic. It addresses one of the motivated sellers' pain points. The likelihood that they're going to find my blog is probably close to zero. Why?
Yeah.
Because we have very large companies that write, blogs that are quote unquote your competition,
Yeah.
and the likelihood they're going to find me is very low, unless I use long tail keywords. This is very important. So if I write a blog and I say, these are the strategies to sell your home if you're going through a divorce in Miami, then when somebody is searching for or asking Google a question, if they're by geolocation, my blog will appear before a blog of home investors that probably writes hundreds of blogs, a year. Number one. Number two, if somebody says, I want to sell my home in Miami, or I'm going through a divorce, how do I sell a home in Miami? If I use long-tailed keywords, the likelihood that my blog is going to appear in their search increases. So this is something really something really important to keep in mind. Again, please visit the site. I'll go into detail about that strategy. We also want to use semantically related keywords. So keywords that are related to the primary keyword when we write a blog. There's another free tool that you can use, is known as LSI Keyword Generator. You can literally just enter the main keyword and it'll give you all the semantically related keywords that you can use when you're writing. So you want to include these inside of the text of the blog. And you don't want to overdo it or make it sound or seem unnatural, but you might want to use the word "need to sell my house ASAP." So if you need to sell your house ASAP in Miami, you need to do this and that. So this is really powerful. Mind you, we're doing all of this for SEO primarily, but also at the same time we're communicating a message to motivated sellers.
Right.
The next thing I'd like to touch upon is internal linking. And this is a lot of people don't even think about this, but this is very powerful. If I write a blog about how to sell my property, if I've got foundation issues, and I have another blog that talks about, let's just say, the advantages of selling to a real estate investor versus listing your home, and if I can interconnect these blogs. So in blog number 1, I'll mention something and I'll go ahead and put in the link to post number 8 or post number 5. If we can create internal linking, then what happens? The visitor that reads blog number 1, that visitor might check out blog number 8, and then they might check out blog number 5. What are we doing? 1, we're showcasing to the visitor our expertise. Secondly, the longer somebody stays on your website, that's one of those signals that Google looks at to say, oh, somebody stayed on this website 10 minutes or 15 minutes rather than they just entered and left. The content that you're writing must be valuable. So let's help you and let's reward you by giving you a little, a spike on your SEO. So internal linking is very powerful. External linking is powerful as well. A lot of people say, don't put external links because they're going to leave your blog or you'll leave your website. On the contrary, external links help, and it's true, they may leave it, but if you're giving them valuable content, they're going to thank you for it and they're going to visit you again. Quite often, what I do at the end of our blogs, we'll put other links to other articles that are related to the blog from high authority websites. So I'll go to mymortgageinsider.com to Investopedia. This also helps with SEO, and it helps by sharing additional information with the person who visited your website. So keep that in mind.
A couple quick questions for you, because I know we're going to run out of time, and I know you have so much to talk about on this. So is there a specific platform that we should be using to run these blogs?
Most people are on a WordPress site. If you're on a WordPress site, then you can go ahead. But virtually, whether you're on Wix or WordPress or on Go High Level, you can write the blog and upload them. I'll just finish with this thought about making sure that you're hyper-local focused. As I said, if I'm a specialist in Brickell, then I might want to say how to sell your home quickly or your condo quickly in Brickell. So this is important. I'm going to ask you to visit this. I have a ton of information about blog formatting, why you want attention-grabbing images, how that helps you with SEO, why infographics are important, why adding videos to your website is important, and why making sure that the blogs that you write, 90% should be evergreen. So the answer to a problem that someone might have if they have termite damage, that's not going to go out of style or get outdated anytime soon. So that means that somebody that visits your blog today, a week from today, or a year from today will relate with the content, will find your content valuable. And now we're creating a way for us to get leads, for us to get visitors today, tomorrow, and well into the future.
Nice. Yes. I love this, because I think what I was missing, and that probably a lot of people watching this might be thinking, they're like, oh, blogs, that's boring, that's 1990s. But blogs, when somebody goes, and you did show it a little bit, when somebody goes to Google and does a search, right? Need to sell my house, who's the best transaction coordinator, whatever. Google is pulling that information out of these blogs. So it's really like the ultimate advertising, right? Like
absolutely.
Nice.
And in fact, you don't need to pay to get on Google, in the SERPs, in the search engine results page. You don't need to pay. If you blog consistently, it's valuable content. Google will put you there right after the section where people are paying, a pretty penny to be sponsored.
And I was just on something earlier, and they was talking about trust, right? Being in the trust economy. Having a blog is going to be far more trustworthy than an ad, right? It's going to rank higher for people, right? They're going to put more value and more credence behind a blog than an ad. This is something my team has been telling me to do, honestly, for a year. So I'm glad you brought it back to the forefront. Again, this is something that all of the big people are doing. The hedge funds, the nationwide home buyers, my guys, all of them are doing this. But I got to tell you, Patrick, it just seems like one more flaming bowling pin that I have to juggle. It kind of it's
hard,
right? Like it's a lot.
It's a lot. And so what I wanted just to share with you this afternoon, blogging is a lot of work. And if you're not a natural writer or who has got extra time to do yet another thing, or if you don't have somebody on your team that can blog for you, we have a what we call the REI content pack. So what is the REI content pack? It's 52 blogs that I personally have written. So there's no ghostwriters. I didn't pay anybody. I wrote these blogs.
You didn't chat 52.
There was no ChatGPT when I did this a couple years ago. So they're 52 professionally written blogs.
Uh-huh.
I've got over 100 attention grabbing images that we've included in them. Many of them have infographics. We have animated videos in them as well. I'll
Oh,
just
wow.
briefly show you here. These are a sample of some of the blogs and the titles of some of the blogs that are included in this pack. The idea is for you to be able to blog once a week for an entire year
Uh-huh.
and we normally, if we click the buy now button, we normally sell this for $297. So at
Oh,
$297, I think it's a steal. So for
that's the deal is
$297,
great. Yeah.
yeah, you can purchase the blogs. You can purchase those blogs. You have
Hey, that's
the
me.
content that you can, there you go. You've got content that you can edit, personalize it to your market, put yourself down as the author, upload it
Uh-huh.
to your website, and you're off to the races. However, because I highly regard David, and
Thank you.
he's a great guy. So David said, "Hey, can you do something special for my listeners?" And so here we go. If you use David47, the discount code David47, I'm going to take $47 off of that $297 price. So you'll get the 52 blogs with
Nice.
all with all the other images, with all the infographics. You'll get that for $250. All you need to do is scan this QR code, or if you prefer, you can, if you want to take a picture of this, or if you want to go ahead and enter this
Mhm.
link
Okay.
into your, into your browser, you can go ahead and purchase the REI content pack at that discount. So
Nice.
that's pretty much it. I think I might be a few seconds or a minute over, but I
Yeah.
think we did it.
That's okay. I think what you're talking about is very valuable. Guys, this is literally the high paid team that I have handling my stuff has told me the same thing for like 5, 6 months. So, this is important. It's something that you could do, especially with the content pack that you can knock out in, maybe 30, 40 minutes a week, but it's going to have that long range effect for you because it's just going to build on top of itself. And this is a great thing to add into all of your other streams. And I would imagine, if you're even working in 28 markets like I was, you could create 28 of these for all the different cities and kind of
Exactly.
mix and match some of that content and then link it all back to each other. So, guys, very, very powerful. There's a reason why blogging is still around. I know it was kind of the precursor to podcasts, but both are good. This is something you should add in to the mix. And this is a ridiculous cheap price. Patrick, thanks so much for that discount for everybody. I know that's wonderful.
Sure.
Guys, we're a little bit over. I promised you 20 minutes. We went just a hair over, but make sure that you scan that link and check this out. I really think that it'll help your business.
Very
Patrick, thanks so
well.
much,
Very
buddy.
well. My pleasure.